Imagine you are the captain of an Iranian naval vessel in the Persian Gulf. Your mission is straightforward. You are monitoring American shipping lanes. You have radar. You have sonar. You have a crew of trained sailors watching every screen. Everything is quiet. Then your ship explodes. You never heard a thing. Never saw anything on radar. No warning. No sound. Nothing. One moment your vessel was operational. The next it was taking on water. And somewhere beneath the surface of the ocean, a weapon you could not see, could not hear, and could not track, had already moved on to its next position. That is not a hypothetical. That is exactly what just happened in the Persian Gulf. A United States Virginia-class nuclear attack submarine just demonstrated something that every Navy on Earth has understood for decades, but that the American public rarely gets to fully appreciate. No adversary on this planet can reliably find a Virginia-class submarine once it does not want to be found. Not Iran, not Russia, not China, not anyone. My name is General Marcus Webb. I spent 34 years inside United States Army intelligence, including 9 years at the Defense Intelligence Agency, where I reviewed threat assessments on submarine warfare capabilities across every major adversary. Today I want to show you exactly what America just deployed in the Persian Gulf, what it can do, why our adversaries have spent billions trying to counter it and failed, and what it means that 19 of these boats are operating right now across every ocean on Earth. On March 25, 2026, during ongoing U.S.-Iran military operations, a United States Navy submarine engaged and struck an Iranian naval vessel operating in the Persian Gulf. The details of exactly which submarine class was involved have not been fully confirmed by the Pentagon, but the signature of the engagement, the complete absence of any warning, the precision of the strike, and the speed at which the vessel was neutralized points conclusively to one platform, the Virginia class. Iranian naval commanders did not detect the submarine before the strike. They did not detect it after. As of this recording, they do not know where it went. That last part is worth sitting with for a moment. A nuclear-powered vessel the length of a football field, carrying enough firepower to reshape a regional conflict, moved through contested waters, executed a precision strike, and vanished, without a single Iranian sensor detecting it at any point. The Virginia-class submarine program represents one of the most expensive and consequential investments in the history of American military power. Each boat costs approximately $3.4 billion to build. The United States currently has 22 Virginia-class submarines commissioned, with more under construction. The program's total projected cost exceeds $130 billion. Those numbers matter because they tell you something about how seriously American military planners regard undersea dominance. You do not spend $130 billion on something unless you believe it is decisive. After what just happened in the Persian Gulf, the case for that investment has been made in the most compelling way possible. To understand why the Virginia class is what it is, you need to understand what it replaced and why. The Virginia class was designed in the 1990s as the successor to the Los Angeles class, the workhorse of American submarine operations through the Cold War. The Los Angeles boats were exceptional for their era, but they were designed for one primary mission: hunting Soviet ballistic missile submarines in the North Atlantic. The post-Cold War world required something different. A submarine that could operate in shallow coastal waters, what the Navy calls the littoral zone. A submarine that could gather intelligence as effectively as it could strike. A submarine that could support special operations forces, launch cruise missiles against land targets, and conduct anti-ship warfare, all on the same platform, on the same deployment. The Virginia class was the answer to that requirement. Its design contract was awarded in 1995. The first boat, USS Virginia, was commissioned in October 2004. Every subsequent block has incorporated significant capability upgrades. We are now on Block 5, the most capable submarine in the history of naval warfare. The Virginia class displaces approximately 7,900 tons when submerged. It is 377 feet long with a beam of 34 feet. It is powered by a single S-9G nuclear reactor, a pressurized water reactor that requires no refueling for the entire operational life of the boat. That means no refueling stops, no predictable schedule, no port vulnerability. A Virginia-class submarine can theoretically remain deployed as long as its food supply and crew endurance allow. Its top speed is classified. Officially, the Navy says it exceeds 25 knots submerged. The actual figure is believed by most analysts to be considerably higher. Its maximum operating depth is also classified. The official figure of greater than 800 feet is understood to be a conservative public statement. It carries up to 38 weapons, a combination of Tomahawk cruise missiles and Mk-48 ADCAP torpedoes, distributed between 12 vertical launch system tubes and 4 torpedo tubes. The Block 5 upgrade adds the Virginia Payload Module, an additional mid-body section containing 4 additional VLS tubes, bringing the total Tomahawk capacity to 40 missiles. That is enough firepower to destroy an entire city's worth of military infrastructure in a single salvo. But the weapons are almost secondary. What makes the Virginia-class dominant is what it can hear. The ANBQQ-10 sonar system, known as the Advanced Processing Build, integrates spherical array sonar, conformal array sonar, and wide aperture array passive sonar into a single fused picture of everything within detection range. The wide aperture array alone is a generational leap. Traditional submarine sonar required the boat to maneuver to triangulate a contact's position. The wide aperture array can determine bearing, range, and target motion analysis from a stationary position. In practical terms, a Virginia-class submarine can sit completely still on the ocean floor and know the precise position, course, and speed of every vessel within its sensor range, without emitting a single pulse of active sonar that could betray its position. It can listen without being heard. It can see without being seen. Every submarine makes noise. Pumps, machinery, reactor coolant flow, crew movement, propeller cavitation. Each of these creates a unique acoustic signature, a fingerprint that sonar operators can learn to recognize and track. The entire discipline of anti-submarine warfare is built around finding, classifying, and tracking that acoustic signature. The Virginia-class was engineered from the beginning to have the smallest possible acoustic signature of any submarine ever built. The propulsion machinery sits on a raft, a shock-isolated platform that prevents vibration from transmitting to the hull. The reactor coolant pumps, traditionally one of the loudest components of a nuclear submarine, can be shut down during low-speed operations, allowing natural convection to cool the reactor in complete silence. The propeller design, classified in its specifics, is built to minimize cavitation at operational speeds. Cavitation is the formation and collapse of vapor bubbles around a propeller, and it is one of the most distinctive and detectable sounds a submarine produces. The Virginia's propulsor design suppresses it to levels that existing adversary sonar has difficulty detecting. The result is a submarine that, at low speed, produces an acoustic signature that approaches the ambient noise level of the ocean itself. It is, for all practical purposes, acoustically invisible. Russia has spent approximately $15 billion over the past 20 years developing the Severodvinsk-class submarine, the Yasin-M, specifically designed as a Virginia-class counterpart capable of tracking and engaging American boats. China has invested similarly in its Type 093B Shang class and the next-generation Type 095, again, explicitly designed to contest American undersea dominance. Both programs have produced capable submarines. Neither program has produced a submarine that can reliably track a Virginia-class boat operating at low speed in deep water. The intelligence assessments I reviewed during my time at the DIA consistently reached the same conclusion. America's undersea margin, the gap between what we can do and what any adversary can do, is the single largest capability advantage in the United States military portfolio. Larger than our air power advantage, larger than our precision strike advantage, larger than any other domain, and the Virginia class is the reason why. Iran operates 3 Kilo-class submarines, diesel-electric boats acquired from Russia in the 1990s, along with a small fleet of domestically produced midget submarines. These are not insignificant platforms. The Kilo class, operated competently, is genuinely difficult to detect. Russia built it specifically for shallow water operations in the Caspian and Baltic Seas, and its acoustic signature is considerably quieter than older Soviet designs. But Iran's anti-submarine warfare capability, its ability to find someone else's submarine, is a different matter entirely. Iran operates P-3F Orion maritime patrol aircraft, acquired before the 1979 revolution, aircraft that are now nearly 50 years old, operating with components that can no longer be sourced through normal supply chains. Its surface ships carry sonar equipment that is, in most cases, 2 to 3 generations behind current American and NATO standards, and its operators, however dedicated, have not trained against anything approaching the acoustic signature suppression technology of a Virginia-class submarine. What happened in the Persian Gulf this week was not a contest between equals. It was a demonstration of what happens when a 2026 American submarine meets a 1970s-era anti-submarine warfare capability. The result was never in question. The Iranian Naval Command is conducting a post-strike analysis at this moment. Their question is the same question every adversary asks after losing an asset to American submarine warfare. Where did it come from, and where did it go? The answer, in most cases, is that they cannot determine either. What they do know is that somewhere in the waters around Iran, an American submarine is still there, still listening, still watching, still capable of striking again without warning. That knowledge changes the behavior of every Iranian surface vessel in the region. Every commander now has to consider that the next maneuver, the next port departure, the next patrol route might be the last one. That is the strategic effect of undersea dominance. You do not need to sink every ship. You need to make every commander wonder whether his ship will be next. The Virginia class does that better than any weapon system in the American arsenal. Every lesson Iran is learning about American undersea warfare right now is being studied in Beijing. China's military planners have been running Taiwan invasion scenarios for 2 decades. In almost every simulation, American submarine intervention is listed as the factor most likely to be decisive and most difficult to counter. The Virginia class is the reason why. China currently operates approximately 60 submarines of varying capability against a coordinated Virginia-class presence in the Western Pacific, backed by P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, undersea sensor networks, and allied submarine forces from Japan and Australia. Chinese naval planners face a geometry problem they have not solved. Getting a surface fleet from mainland China to Taiwan and sustaining it requires controlling sea lines of communication that American submarines can interdict at will. Every day that American submarine dominance is demonstrated in the Persian Gulf is a day that Chinese military planners recalculate the cost of a Taiwan operation. The Virginia class is not standing still. The Navy's Block 6 boats, currently in development, will incorporate further advances in acoustic suppression, sensor capability, and payload capacity. The Virginia payload module, now standard on Block 5 boats, will be supplemented by further VLS expansion on Block 6, potentially doubling the strike capacity of an already formidable platform. And beyond the Virginia class, the SSN-X program, the next-generation attack submarine, is in early development. Its specifications are classified. What has been publicly acknowledged is that it will surpass the Virginia class in every measurable category of performance. Iran learned something this week. China is taking notes. Russia is reassessing. American undersea dominance is not a historical legacy. It is an active, expanding, continuously improving capability that no adversary has found a credible answer to. And today, in the Persian Gulf, it reminded the world of that fact. An Iranian warship never saw it coming. Its crew never heard it. The vessel that struck it was already gone before the damage reports were filed. That is what 34 years of continuous American investment in undersea warfare looks like when it is deployed. The Virginia class is not the most talked about weapon in America's arsenal. It operates in silence, by design, in every sense of the word. But among the people who spend their careers thinking about where the next conflict comes from and how America wins it, it is widely regarded as the single most decisive platform in the United States military. I spent 34 years in that world. I believe that assessment is correct. My name is General Marcus Webb. If this briefing gave you something you are not getting elsewhere, subscribe and turn on notifications. The next briefing covers the weapon that has China's military planners more worried than any other system in the American arsenal. And it has nothing to do with submarines. I will see you there.